Hey guys, it is xAMK Epic here. Today I'm going to be bringing you a Photoshop tutorial showing you how to make a thumbnail. Not only do these thumbnails look cool, but they are very easy to do. But enough about this, let's get on with the video. Okay, so first of all, you are going to want an image, and the best background image is from Call of Duty. So I tend to use Call of Duty ones in my videos mainly because my content is Call of Duty based. But you can do this with any other game, any game that you want. So make sure that you have a picture, something like this is a really nice one. You've got a background, you've got a gun in the foreground, and it just looks really nice. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to create a duplicate layer. And you don't need to layer these, but you can if you want to remember which one's which. And first thing we are going to do is we are going to mask around the gun. So what we're going to do is we're going to magnify it a bit. So the gun is all up on the screen, and then we're going to click the pen tool, which is right here, and then you're going to click on each of the outline of the hand and the gun of the soldier in the picture. And as you see, there is a bit of a pattern coming along here. All you need to do to stop this from showing is you go to opacity and just turn it down to 0, and it will become invisible, and it would be a lot more easier for you to mask around the gun. And I'm just going to quickly speed this up, and I'll see you when this finishes. Okay, so we have masked around the gun as best as we can, and as you can see, it is really good. You can go a bit more in detail if you want to, but I think I've done a pretty good job here. The more precise you are with this and the more dots you do, the better it will look in the thumbnail. It's always better. And for the last bit, what I tend to do is I tend not to just connect them as I was about to there. I prefer to just open it up a bit and then put a bit of a gap down the bottom, so that way it looks a lot nicer and you don't miss anything at the bottom. Now that we've got this layer done, what we're going to do is we're going to click back to our normal cursor tool, and this vector mask thumbnail bit we are going to move down into the first layer which we copied. And with this we can just get rid of this now, we don't need this. And as you see now, if I click on the second layer, and this is something we're going to do anyway, so I'm just going to show you now. If we go to filter, go to blur, and then go to Gaussian blur, anything we do to the background now will not affect the front bit. It looks a lot cleaner and it gives it a really nice effect. So I'm probably going to go with, I'd say, I don't know with this one. See, I want the background to still be clear enough to see, but slightly blurred, so this bit stands out. So I'd say about 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 looks decent. One thing we can do as well is if we click the background layer and then go up and click new layer, and then just create a whole new layer, and then go to the paintbrush tool, and we'll just put it up to maximum for now quickly, and we're going to click black, and we're just going to quickly just spray all over the black background. So there we go, so we've created a nice black background. I'm going to put this back down to 100 because I will need it later. And then we are going to make sure we've clicked on layer 1, we're going to go to opacity and we're going to turn it down to 21, something like that. Around about 21, 25, to give the background a bit more of a darkish type feel, and also to make the front bit stand out just a bit more and make it look a bit nicer. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add effects to this gun to make it pop out a bit. So we are going to double click on the layer, and it's going to come up with all these different options. Now you can mess around with these as much as you want, but there are some preferred ones which I tend to use, and if you want to use those as well, then that's fine. But as I say, just use your own, learn, and just use these settings as just a bit of a guide. So first thing we're going to click is gradient overlay, and if you see already, that doesn't look nice. So we are going to click on the gradient overlay, and then you can choose any color you want. Given what we've got at the moment, I don't know, I don't want to go pink because of the background, but it would give it that nice feel. So I'm just going to go with pink for now. And if we go with pink, and then if we go with a slightly lighter pink, I'd say about really light. Yeah, so it gives it a bit more of a feel to it. Once we have done this, we are going to click to blend mode and we are going to click color. Now as you see, that looks slightly better. You can actually see the gun, but it still looks a bit bright. So if we move this down, say about, I don't know, say about 20, there, that still gives it that bit of color, but it doesn't look, you know, I'm actually gonna move it down a bit more because it doesn't, yeah, that looks a bit better. So it's kind of got the tiniest bit of pink to it. Yeah, that'll do. And it still looks normal. Then once we have done gradient, we are going to go to outer glow, and it's going to create this little nice glow around the outside. And you don't want to be too precise with this. You just want to kind of just give it a bit of a glow. Don't just full on, you know, just wham like that. Unless you want to, unless you think it looks nice and neat. I prefer not to. So we're going to boost the opacity up to 100, and we're going to change where it's got elements. We're going to change the technique to precise. And as you see here, as I move it out, it looks a lot smoother. If you click, if you see softer and then you click precise, it looks a lot cleaner. It looks a lot nicer. And we're going to, how much do, you don't want to do it too much as well. Like I said, you want to just boost it out just a bit. I'd say that looks good. Then you can change the settings as well. You can do color dodge, or you could do darker color, whichever one works for you. I'm just going to stick with normal because I think it just looks best. One more thing we can do the inner glow. So we're going to click inner glow, and what we can do is we can go back to this one. We can, if you go down to this box, this is kind of like the hashtag of, and the binary, I'm not sure what number code it is, but it's a bit like binary, and it just saves what color it is. If I move it around there, you see it just changes. Then you can go to this color, you can click in this box, you can click paste, and it'll give you the exact same color. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did on the other one, where we're going to click precise, maybe turn the opacity down a bit on this one, and then we're going to click size, and we're just going to move it in. So as you can see, the opacity is down a bit, plus this gun's got a bit more of a nice glow to it. And you can mess around with the settings like I've said before. I'm probably going to leave it like that so you can see the redness of the gun, and it still looks quite nice already. And that's it for this gun part. Next thing we need to do is we need to add the like little glows around the side, which I usually do. And how we do this is we go to layer, we click new, and we get a new layer. Then we go to the paintbrush tool and click it to 100. I prefer to do 100. Go to this, and I'll give it the same color as before. So we're going to copy paste, and here we go. We've got the same pink, and this pink is going to go across the bottom. You just want to do like a nice fine layer across the bottom as such. And as you see, it's created a nice pink layer, and then we are going to rotate it a bit slightly to the left, and then we're going to bring it out a bit. And if you see here, it just gives it a really nice glow at the bottom as such. And you don't have to be too precise with this. What I tend to do as well is I move the normal layer. If I just click off, click apply, I'm going to click this one, I'm going to move this up to the top. I tend to put it behind the gun because I think it just looks weird over the gun. At the end of the day, it's up to you, like I always say. And I'm just going to move this up a bit, I guess. Yeah, so that's looking a lot nicer now. We click a new layer, and we're going to click another layer again, and make sure it's above this pink one, it's not on the same level. And you're going to click the paintbrush again, and you just want to do some dots. So some little, you know, I'm going to put it down to 65, make it a bit more little. Just place some little dots. Doesn't have to be perfect or precise. You just want to place some little dots going up like that. Just try and keep them in an order, or just go crazy. And then what I tend to do, or what I've started to do, is if we put it down a bit, just add some littler dots with a bit less of a color, just to give it that extra, like, really cool effect. Obviously I'm no artist, so I'm, you know, it probably doesn't look that good, but you can mess around with the settings and make it better for yourself. Another thing you can add to this thumbnail is if you click layer and make sure it's a new layer. Yeah, okay, I didn't know which layer that was. Then go to file and go to place. And if you have a team logo with a black background, luckily I have the xAMK one, which is here, and we're going to click place. And as you see, it looks awful and horrible, but click OK there, then double click on xAMK logo, and then where it has blend mode, select screen. And what this will do is this will take away the black background, so you're just left with this xAMK logo. Now we want to shrink this down, and we'll just say we'll place one in the center here, and we are going to click opacity, and we're going to put this down to about 25. I'd say you don't really want the emblem to be showing that much, but enough so it is there. So click off that. Then you want to copy the layer, move it over a bit, and turn, I'd say, roughly 45 degrees. Then click OK. Then copy and duplicate, and move this one down here. Then move this to 90 degrees. And you want to keep doing this until you've done 8, so you've got a full rotation, and I will see you guys once I've done that. Okay, so as you see, I have put 8 xAMK logos down. It's looking a lot nicer, especially for a clan video, and I've done 45-degree rotation on each, and they've got 8 down, and it just looks really good. Next thing we are going to do is we've got to add some text. Now, since this is a thumbnail tutorial, I'm going to add the text thumbnail, and I'm going to do this separate, and I will show you why. So first I'm going to do thumbnail, and we've got the thumbnail title here. We're going to stretch it out a bit so it just looks a bit bigger and it's a bit more nicer. Going to put it on the left hand side since the gun is on the right hand side, and yeah, trying to think of how to do it so it doesn't interfere with this bit, because that bit looks really nice. Okay, so we've got the thumbnail bit. We are going to click fine. We are not going to click fine, I think. Nah, not now. We're going to click back on text. We're going to click this bit, we're going to highlight it, and then we're going to click this bar up here, going to go all the way to white, and we're just going to have a nice white text, because that's what you want on the start bit. Then you're going to double click on the thumbnail area down here, then you're going to come back up, and first thing you're going to click is gradient, and as you see, that looks a lot smoother than it did for this one. And we are going to go to gradient, and it doesn't look as nice with it being very black at the bottom, so you want to go, say, about 60% down or 40% depending on your personal preference, and we're going to click OK. That looks a bit too light. We don't want to go too dark, then again we don't want to go too light. There we go, that looks a lot nicer. So it doesn't look too dark at the bottom, and it's still, the text looks really good. But another way to make it stand out better is we're going to click up here to drop shadow. And the best one I prefer is if we go to 145, turn the opacity all the way up, and the distance to about, not too far, say, but the distance about 9, and then move the size up to 10. Or actually move it back a bit, move it to 7. Yeah. So we've got the thumbnail, yeah, if you just copy the settings here, or choose your own, then the last thing we want to do is we want to click inner glow. Then again, click precise, move the opacity up, and then just slightly move it in. So not too much, but say about, 10. There we go, that looks really nice. And as you see, the text stands out, it looks really cool, and looks really good on a video, a lot better. And the reason we've done this for thumbnail is because we are going to do a tutorial at the bottom, so we want to copy this and just copy the settings. It's fine, you can always change them in a sec. We're going to click on the text icon, and we are going to change this from thumbnail to tutorial. tutorial. Okay, so that quite doesn't fit, so we are going to stretch it out a bit just so it is in line with thumbnail at the top, and it just looks a lot nicer. So if we just move it over, there we go. Might even just move it down a bit, so yeah, that looks awesome. And what you can do to the bottom bit is if we click apply and then click tutorial, we can go to the gradient, go to the grey bit, and if we paste the details from before, we can turn this into pink, and then just go to pink again, and no, actually I could just, yeah, if we paste, we are going to go as close to white as possible, maybe a bit far back, and boom, as you see, it's copied the details. And you can always mess around with the settings again, but I think the settings look fine as they are. One more thing you can do, if we go to file and we click, first we click new layer, and then if we go to file and we go to export, no, not export, we go to place. If I go to my documents, I have a editing pack which I will leave in the description when I find the person who got this editing pack. And we're going to choose an optical flare, and there's loads of optical flares here. I prefer elegant, is my favourite one, and same again with the xAMK logo. We are just going to click elegant, and we are going to put this down to screen, and then we can move this, say, to the bottom, and then if we duplicate the layer, we can put one at the top. And that is how I roughly do my thumbnails. So that's it for the video. Leave a like if you have enjoyed. Let me know your feedback. Let me know if you like more Sony Vegas, Photoshop, Cinema 4D tutorials on this channel. Leave a like, favorite, subscribe, share with your friends. And that's been it, guys. Stay epic.